minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Yeah, that's right. Back again.
Yeah.
All right, what's up, gentlemen? How we doing tonight?
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
So, a couple things we got a lot to talk about tonight, but a couple things we're going to touch on from last week. So, we did our live spectacular, our first live streaming show last week. Went nearly 2 hours. Covered a massive range of topics spanning the globe. For our Asian audience, we mentioned Yao Ming in great detail. For our American audience, we talked about democracy, jazz, music. We really
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah, of course, naturally, and the Equalizer,
natural treasure.
Equalizer. So there was a lot of ground covered last week in 2 hours. We're not going to try to do that exact same thing this week because it's just it's too heavy a burden to shoulder. But definitely going to bring a lot of entertainment this week and going to have a lot of fun with some things. But I also wanted to say that last week in post-production, we had some issues. And so while we have tons of great content, on some of it, the video quality isn't as good as we wanted. Had some post-production issues. Won't bore anyone with the details. Long story short, it's an incredible episode. Awesome to listen to. Tons and tons and tons of really, really good stuff in there. Freaking hilarious. I go back even now, having listened to it multiple times in the editing process and everything. Still so daggone funny. But it just won't be. Some of it won't be as good on the video side. So fair warning to everyone when you see that. A little frustrating. I think we got to fix for this week though. So
I was once told
got a lot of
you
interesting
get what you
things,
get and you don't be upset.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're entertaining America, sometimes it's not all going to go smoothly.
That's it. And we have fired our video production guy, so
yes,
he's
gone.
He's out. He's gone.
He's,
probably should have known.
Don't give him a job.
Probably should have known when we picked him up from Home Depot. He probably had no clue what he was doing.
Hey, look, he helped us put that chair together.
He did. He was like, I know how to shoot cameras. Yeah.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, not an issue.
Turns out he sucks, but he's gone now.
Yeah.
So I had a couple things, man. Some interesting things I read over the last few days I wanted to share. One of these things, and this is kind of like it's an old story, right? So we're kind of revisiting something that's a little bit of an older story, but something that I still feel like, bears some awareness and conversation of. And that was Kevin Bacon, actor Kevin Bacon, did an interview recently and talked kind of in greater detail about losing most of his fortune to the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme scandal. Most people know this, but Bernie Madoff was like the biggest Ponzi scheme in history, billions of dollars. I mean, scammed everybody. I mean, Fred Wilpon, the owner of the Mets, I mean, he had all kinds of celebrity clients, everything. And eventually it all collapsed and people lost an incredible amount of money. And then Bernie ended up going to jail and then dying in jail a few years back. But Kevin Bacon, in this article, him and his wife, Kira Sedgwick, they've not ever specified the exact amount of money that they lost, but this whole thing with Bernie Madoff is the largest financial fraud of its kind in U.S. history. And Kevin Bacon said in a recent interview that they had most of their money with Madoff. So if you think about a guy, a Kevin Bacon who's been working forever as a professional actor, and his wife, who also is a very successful actress, got to assume they have quite a bit of money. I mean, Footloose alone, the guy should never have to work again, right?
Never
He's just continuously worked and been on TV and in movies and done all kinds of different things. To say that he put most of his money in with Bernie Madoff is just crazy to think about. And really, it brought back kind of the sheer number of people and how successful Bernie Madoff was at scamming people. I mean, it's really incredible because, again, Kevin Bacon trying to put a good light on it and just said, hey, man, we're fortunate. We have our health, blah, blah, blah. But, it's the Bernie Madoff Victim Fund has so far returned more than $4 billion. So this gives you an idea of how much money he had that they returned, and that's a small portion.
That they're still able to return some of that money back. Yeah, God, they should really name. They should really name the Ponzi scheme, after
the Madoff
now. The Madoff scheme now.
He was way more successful.
Than Ponzi ever was. Although, what did I read though? Like with Ponzi, that like in today's numbers, like how much
the amount of what it was worth. Yeah,
and that was what, like stamps or something that he was doing. Man. Good,
I don't even remember. It's been so long since
it was something to do with like tariffs or stamps or something. I don't know. It was something to do with like shipping of some sort. But I mean, you think about this though, like for Madoff, like what? I mean, he died at 80? I don't even know what he was. 80,
early 80s,
86. But I mean,
82.
82. I mean, I don't know. Would you? Would you trade prison in your 80s for
I know
all that money and luxury?
Well, let's not kid ourselves too, guys. Not that prison is fun, but he's not going to the state correctional prison. He's probably going to a federal prison where we all know that's where they have tennis. They have things.
He was going to that
Goodfellas
Goodfellas prison.
Yeah, he was going to.
He was doing that Goodfellas prison. They're making sausage in the back room.
Exactly. He's not going to Gen Pop and hanging out with the people that he. Yeah, exactly. He's not going to one of those places because his crime was a federal crime, and he obviously, to me, it always is those people that have that type of money. They basically protect themselves in the sense that they always fund jails, and they know the right jails to send money to because, God forbid, if they ever were to get caught, they know where they can be sent, so that they can live a little bit of a life of of not the common criminal, because they're not the common criminal.
Yeah, they're not going to be sitting there, going to the what's the canteen and making burritos out of
or making that toilet wine. He's not worried about that. He's not doing things of that nature.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Well, they talk about some of the people that were ripped off. Baseball legend Sandy Koufax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how much money could Sandy possibly have had?
Exactly, right. Sandy Koufax made his money forever ago in the 50s and stuff. Yeah. And now you scammed them. You ripped off Sandy Koufax. Former Mets owner Fred Wilpon, we already talked about, who I think was like a crazy amount of money.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that pretty much forced him to have to sell the team, right? I mean, that was pretty much the reason he had to sell.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what he had left of value was owning the Mets. And daggone well, if he could have, he'd have probably given the Mets to Madoff, thinking that would be more valuable.
I mean, you saw Bernie Madoff. Like, I mean, he's like a cross between he looks like Danny DeVito's Penguin, character in the first Batman. What is this dude's deal? What is his spin that he gets these people to
impressive
fund it out? Like, you figure you're going after Kevin Bacon, you're going after Fred Wilpon. Like, you're not sending your junior executives after him. Like, this has got to be him doing this.
Yeah, he's closing.
I mean, what is he selling? Yeah,
and right. The way I read it, people came to him.
Yeah,
like the thing is, he started small, like all Ponzi's do, and then once you can get like a rich person or two that invests a little bit, and you make sure they get really good returns, and then that starts getting told to other wealthy people, and you just make sure they're getting good returns. And then it's like you just let it keep stacking. And then next thing you know, people are coming to you saying, "Hey, man, I hear you're the guy that can make me money." And
you're talking 7% returns on a natural, like on the level investment firm that's taking care of your money. You're talking single digit returns.
Easy.
This Joker was posting double digits year after year after
every
year,
single year,
and all he was doing was robbing Peter to pay Paul. He was just taking money that was given to him and giving them that double-digit return, and that's all he did. Over and over again.
Imagine being Paul, though. Like,
yeah.
The dude that got in early.
Yeah. No, but I mean, honestly.
Paul,
right?
otherwise known as Sandy Koufax.
Yeah. Let's hope Sandy was part of that. I mean, if you're getting in there, getting those returns early, I mean, that's like anything, like all the big crypto thing, when the nodes were a big deal. Yep. You got in early on the right one, you were banking.
Yeah.
People that were making money on, Strong and Fire tokens, all that stuff. I mean, you got in early, you were making some serious cash. It's got to be the same thing. It's got to be the same way. Yeah. Man, imagine being the last person, too.
When you invest with a guy like Madoff, right, let's just say hypothetically you gave him $1 million. All you do is you check with him, hey, how's the money doing?
Yeah.
And he'll send you a report like, oh, it's you're good, 1.2 million now. It's not like you're saying, like, well, give it back to me, and then I'll give you $1 million back. It's like these people just leave it in there, right? So as long as he's showing reports, he's not actually having to pay out that money very often. If somebody needs it, then he can collect it, from other people and then turn around and pay it out. But outside of that, it's like you put your money in the bank, right? The bank just shows you that your money's in there. You don't go there every day and like, hey, let me pull that $100,000 out of the bank. Okay, you can have it back now and put it back in, and then just keep checking
you're
every
not
day,
wrong.
right? You don't ever know.
But I mean, hopefully people were taking their profits at some point in time. I mean, I presume they had to have been, but
you'd like to think.
Yeah, man.
But if they were taking too many profits, then there wouldn't have been billions and billions and billions of dollars.
That's true.
Wasn't it?
And he's sitting on it.
The whole downfall to his success was the fall in 2008, wasn't it? Because then people started getting leery of what was happening, and then started wondering if they could pull back their money. And so once that started happening, then that little string on that sweater started unraveling, started getting tugged on a little bit more, and so and all this stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys are fully aware, but like I think South Florida is like the biggest Ponzi scheme area in America. And of course, Madoff, right in my backyard, right? He had his Palm Beach estate. He had all this stuff down here. These guys, I mean, well, first of all, we all know that Florida is a tax haven, right? You come down here, there's no state taxes, no nothing. Yeah. So that's why a lot of these people are living down here in the first place. And then the circles that they're in, like you're saying, Sandy Koufax, the Mets owner, like word of mouth, and all these people, one tells another, and that's how they all get involved.
Well, and the other thing too is, it's all old people in Florida that aren't as savvy on things. So, they hear that this guy's good. And like you said, it's a tight-knit community. They put their money in with him.
Yeah.
They're trusting him.
Yeah. Let's make this last, for another 10 years, whatever, 15 years. And man. Yeah. What a great scheme.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, like, I get that it's technically illegal.
Sure. Technically.
But if you get past that, it makes a ton of sense.
I mean, how long did he run this thing?
Oh, long time. I don't know the specifics. I can probably find out while we're sitting here talking, but
I would be so curious because I mean, let's say he ran it for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. I mean, that dude lived it up, lived the lifestyle for that long, and then all right, I'll spend, 7, 8 years, whatever it was, 10 years in jail. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's not worth it, but I can kind of see the appeal.
Well, here's the answer to your question. He defrauded thousands of investors out of tens of billions of dollars over the course of at least 17 years, possibly longer.
All right, so 17 years. He's 82 when he dies, so he starts in his 50s, lives it up. I mean, if I told you right now, like, hey, man, you're going to die at 82, but here's what you can do from 50, 55 to 82. How many people are taking that? Like, probably worth it. Yeah. I mean, look.
He got sentenced to 150 years, but he got sentenced to 150 years when he was like 80. So, I
mean, what's it matter at that point, right? I mean, they kept him out of jail forever, right? I mean, it's not like he immediately went to jail, so probably.
And then it turned out he had cancer, so it was like, He'd had cancer if he was out. So, either way, the guy's going to die at 82. So,
man, yeah, it wasn't a bad gig for him. That's for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people would probably have signed up for that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if there were smarter people out there, the world is full of really dumb people. That's the majority of the world. You walk around, you see these people, they're dumb. If there were more smart people in the world, there'd be more Ponzi schemes.
Oh, yeah.
There just would. The problem is that they're like people, there's a lot of really dumb people. There's a few smart people. The few smart people oftentimes take advantage of the dumb people. That's why you end up with these things like Ponzi schemes. But if there were more smart people, just a little bit more, you'd have that many more Ponzi schemes. Mm-hmm, because ultimately people are always willing to take a risk with their money for the possibility of that big return, right? Yep. It's like, I saw something today. This is funny. I saw something today. I think it was on maybe TikTok, where dude's in a parking lot. And he has a little wheel that spins, right? He's going up to people and saying, hey, would you be willing to shave your head and your eyebrows for a chance at $2,000? Okay. Now here's the deal. The wheel's marked off. Half of the spots win you $2,000. The other half of the spots win you $1. That's what you get. So here's what you got to do. Right then on the spot, they're going to unfold a chair. They're going to shave your head, shave your eyebrows. You spin the wheel. Right, so you're getting shaved regardless.
Oh, wait. So regardless, you're getting shaved. This is not like spin the wheel.
The cost of entry. No.
Oh, that's the cost of entry. So that's not on the wheel.
No.
Oh my god.
No. So the question is, you just had your head and eyebrows shaved. You did it. Are you going to get $2,000 for having done it, or are you going to get $1 for having
No way.
done it?
No way.
No, I said the same thing. I was like, no, that ain't going to happen. Like, there's
look,
chance.
And I'm bald anyways, and you're still not going to get me to shave my eyebrows for a chance to win $2,000.
And here's the thing. They went around, they asked a few people, and they got shot down. And then they found a guy, looked like he was maybe, I don't know, early 20s. And the guy was like, I don't know. I'm not sure. 2,000. Let me see the wheel. He's looking at the wheel. He's like 50-50. And they're telling him, like, 50-50 shot, man. 50-50. You're going to win $1. You're going to win $2,000, 50-50 chance. He was like, okay, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And they're like, all right, man, let's do it. Sit him down. Bang, they're shaving his head. Clearly not even doing a great job of shaving his head.
Of course not.
Knock off the eyebrows. Dude spends $1. He's like, oh, are you for real? You just shaved my head for $1?
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, man, I mean, you spun the wheel.
Yeah.
All right, well, give me my $1 then. Dude reaches in, gives him change. He's like, I didn't have any singles here. and some like $1 in nickels or something.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. I mean, what's the moral to the story? There's always an idiot out there that's willing to do something like that.
That's right.
That's it.
And you guys post this question: what do you think there's a difference between a Ponzi scheme and or a pyramid scheme?
Yeah, I mean,
there's fundamentally there's a difference.
Yes,
there's a difference there, but like, how are people getting away with still being able to do pyramid schemes versus them? Obviously, a Ponzi scheme being outright illegal, you can't do that because pyramid schemes essentially are person up top gets all the money, and it's a trickle down effect. And, it's kind of like Michael Scott when he wanted to sell people the phone cards, right? And Jim had to break it down to him, like, okay, so wait, so this person has the cards, right? And so then you're supposed to go get this person, and this person, and then this person get these people. Okay, then let me go ahead and just draw an outline.
Right.
It's a pyramid scheme, huh, Michael? You know what I mean? Like, it's the same idea in the sense that the top person is making all the money. Like, there's still companies that exist to this day that happens. You know what I mean? Like Amway. How did Amway become Amway? Yep. The top people made all their money and then it trickled down. Like, I mean, there's just like, I don't know how one is still okay and the other one obviously is illegal, and I think they all should be. But
I think some of the pyramid schemes, if they get caught and they just try and get them on other things. Like my wife used to sell that LuLaRoe stuff. So it's like, and the minute I saw it, I was like,
now we do want to be careful before too much gets said here.
Yeah.
No, I know where you're going. I know
we
where
don't want to open ourselves up to any
at.
litigation from the
But
good
I'm
people at.
Oh no,
LuLaRoe.
they're out of business. They're out of business. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's been sued, and
I know they had like a Netflix special or something.
I don't know
Yes,
if she got any jail time or not, but I know she was up on some charges for sure. And just like this great Mormon lady, But I stepped back, and it's hard to when people were making like money hand over fist, and they were doing it like they were just popular. I mean, they just picked up and just took off, and like I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so we spend, and I don't even know what we invested into it, like maybe $2,000, right? So okay, so we put in this $2,000, we get all these clothes, you sell them, but that's not the idea. The idea wasn't to. The idea was to keep getting new product, because each month, each week they come out with new legging designs.
Yeah, new designs.
Come out with that. And I'm just like, I was telling my wife, I was like, but how do you make any money if you're just buying?
You're buying the new product,
buying the new stuff. Like it doesn't make any sense. She's like, well, no, this is what you have to do. And of course, I always get blamed for being a know-it-all, and I tell her, like, look, if I'm right, I'm right. I'm never going to apologize for being right.
First of being a guy.
Yeah, but okay, go, whatever, right? And then that's just what it turned out being. So then they would have like, I don't know, let's just say like Disney characters, right? So they got, but they would only send you so many patterns of that, or you would hope to get, Donald Duck, that was the Easter egg defined, right?
Right.
And so they would send you, 10 Daffy Ducks, and nobody wants Daffy, right? So now you've got to go buy more, hoping they would ship you the right ones, and they would send you designs where you're like, who's going to buy this design, right? Like,
right.
And that's what it was. It was just literally a pyramid, and man, they made so much money on that.
For sure.
Well, we got our money back. Like, she was able to sell enough and do well enough that we pretty much broke even. But at the same time, I was just like, man, this is a pyramid scheme. Like, and they did it in such a way where it's like, well, we don't want people to buy all these designs. We want to send out all these to different people. Right. And, that way everyone can't just have the one. But it was literally just, all right, you made $600 this week. Well, now you need to buy more inventory because nobody wants those plaid checkered, pants. So now you've got to send in that $600, and they had a minimum order where you had to order so much. It was
it's smart.
Kudos. It's hard for me to even be angry about it, and
Speaking of which, guys, I got this pen here that I'm hoping that maybe I can. Huh? What? Huh? No, sorry.
We got these these magic legumes.
Yeah.
How did these get here?
How did these get out?
What? You saw me. Leave the telescope.
Yeah, leave the telescope. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so this financial talk leads me into another article here that I saw, another thing.
Let's
get
go.
your take on this. This is an interesting one. This is more of like someone needing advice, okay? And I feel like
we are the people to do that.
Who better?
As a general rule, if someone needs advice, we're the people to give it to them.
Yeah.
So, here's the story on this one. And I'll just read it as it appears. My brother just recently passed away in June. Instead of leaving his belongings to his siblings, he chose to donate to charity. That is, his home, furnishings, and all of his remaining cash. I don't understand why he would make such a decision. We are surprised and bewildered. He's left a will outlining his wishes for his estate, but can this will be contested? So,
who's it signed by?
Yeah. Well,
signed by surprise sister.
Surprised sister. Exactly what it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
What?
So here's the thing, right? So in theory, you have a guy who dies. He thought about this ahead of time. Clearly, because he had a will. Made that will to leave everything to charity. His family finds this out. They are pissed
including his
off.
house. Who's
I know.
who takes his house? Like,
Yeah.
you know, Cars for Kids comes in and like takes the house. Like, I don't. Yeah. What do they just take the deed?
Sell it off, I guess.
Sell it off. Like,
Yeah.
gosh.
So they're taking everything. Family's upset about this because they want the money. And so here's my question for you. And there's a lot of questions here. But the first one, what do you think about the idea of a family being able to contest a will when the will dictates that the money was going to charity? This is a different situation. If you had like an old sickly person who, you know, it's the cliche of like the 90-year-old guy who meets like the 26-year-old girl, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I got to change my will real quick, and then he's dead 2 weeks later. I understand the family kind of wanting to contest that a little bit.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this scenario specifically, where it's a guy, he's leaving his money to charity, and the family's like, no way, we do not want that charity to get that money. We want that money. What do we think about that? Should they be able to contest the will?
Here's what I say.
Uh-huh.
I used to work at a law firm, and I've heard stories that are similar to this situation that you're talking about. When it comes to money and people, greed, love, throw it in, throw the other one out, because there is no love in what's happening here. What I would say is that if I was this brother or sister, whomever that is concerned about it, I'm sure there's more to the story. Like, we don't know how he passed, if he was sick and he was of bad health. But if you didn't know his wishes going in, then that's shame on you. That you weren't going to be getting anything out of this, because you should have been close enough to him to at least be able to ask the question. Not maybe in the sense of, hey, what am I getting out of this when you die? No, sure. But just know that his wishes are for charity, because he has such a giving heart to receive everything that he has. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you a story about, so I used to work as a clerk at a law firm, and 20 something odd years ago. And I would have to, when things would come in, I would have to make copies of them, put them in the file, and put the file away for whatever, so they could have all the information there. A letter came in from a client who, his mother was at a nursing home, and she was wealthy, and she was at a nursing home that was expensive. It wasn't, they were really taking care of them, whatever, doing their thing. This son wrote his mother a letter, which was sent to the attorney's office, because that's where all her mail was forwarded to, stating how disgusted he was that she was still alive, draining his inheritance.
Oh my gosh.
That the longer she lives, the least amount of money that's going to be there for him and his children.
Dear
and that
Mom.
And that she is absolutely taking all of their inheritance and wasting it on being alive, because the nursing home that she's at is too expensive.
What was she supposed to do? Like, just off
seriously,
herself, or
so like this story is kind of like
sick.
For me. Did you know your brother? Because I think I would have known my brother's wishes if he was going to pass, and that's something that was near and dear to his heart. That's my answer to that.
Wow. Dear Mom,
no, look, I mean, there's like always two parts to it, right? Because we also, like you said, we don't know how the guy died, right? So we always, the hindsight's 2020 when you go like, oh man, I wish I could have. The guy could have died in a freak, hang gliding accident or something like that, and people never, it's not like maybe he had a long terminal illness where there's a lot of time to kind of discuss, the future. I could have just been like, hey, look at me, I'm hang gliding. I'm dead.
This sucks.
Family didn't have enough time to really, talk with them about it. So it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like if the guy's trying to leave it to charity, I mean, what are your grounds for challenging it? Like, there's no legitimate grounds that you can really think of to say he shouldn't be allowed to do what he wants to do with his own money. I can't imagine. I can't even imagine it would be challengeable. I mean, unless he had just changed it and, he was going through Alzheimer's or, Von Burfitt hit him and he had CTE or something like that, but outside of that, I mean, you can't really challenge it. And like, I don't know about you all, but are you expecting anything like when like parents and siblings die? Like, it's just a weird thing to me. Yeah. Like, it's just really weird. Like I've had like my wife's family, like her parents are, they're not super rich, but they're pretty well off. They work really hard. He worked for the government and, got a second job, got after he retired, then took another job to get another pension, and he was just real smart with his money, invested wisely and everything. And he's like, I'll have some money, left over for, when I pass. And it's just like, dude, spend your money. Like, I don't
live your life. Don't hold back on our account.
Like, I don't, I mean, and it's noble. I mean, but I wouldn't expect anything. Like, that's just odd. Yeah. Well, no, when my dad dies, I'm going to get millions of dollars. Like, that's
listen, sadly, people are out there that think that way.
100%.
Sadly, there are hundreds. I mean, people out there that think that way. But I'm with you. I mean, I would want my parents to listen. They've provided for me greatly. Like, enjoy your life. Do whatever it is that you want to do with whatever you have left. Because, listen, I mean, I don't know. We don't know how much more time any of us have on here.
No, right.
For them who have worked their entire lives and been able to get to an elderly state, like, go enjoy. Like, don't be thinking about me. I still got to make mine. You know what I mean? You taught me to work, and that's how I'm going to plan on living the rest of my life. Eventually retiring, hoping to enjoy my life like you are. But yeah, no way, man.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it just feels so wrong. And then you right into someone asking.
Yeah, seriously, like, I got to get advice on this. This can't be right. You only write to someone, and this is just a good rule of thumb for just anyone. You only do that if you think that the person is going to tell you that you're right.
Yeah,
sure.
Right. Yeah,
you clearly feel so entitled to this. Yeah. Like, man, the moment they see this, they're going to tell me that I'm right, and then I'm going to be that much more empowered to fight this thing. So, she's that much more pissed when she gets told, like, no.
Yeah. What is the guy going to say? Like, definitely fight that.
Yeah.
Do you know charities only give away 22%?
Yeah.
Fight that.
Yeah, you got to fight it.
Yeah.
And mind you, where I'm at, when people pass away, sometimes they leave their entire estates to animals.
Yeah, to their cats and stuff.
So,
that to me, like, might be a bigger crime than anything else. However, it's their
how does that work? But how does that work? Like,
they sometimes they have handlers, man. I never told you the story about about this lady. She was divorcee. She lived in one of the buildings down the street from my house. And the building, her floor is the entire floor from east to west. And so you're talking about a nice coverage of ground up in the air.
Sure.
And she has two big poodles, not little miniatures. I'm talking about big poodles. These poodles,
creepy looking dogs.
Oh, absolutely. These poodles were pretty much famous because you would see them walking on Flagler Drive, like nonstop. People would, like, you would see these dogs walking, and a nurse or a lady, I'm not sure if she was a nurse, handled these dogs. These dogs had a Range Rover that they drove in and take them wherever that they wanted to go. Okay, I'm not kidding you when I tell you this.
They wanted to go. As opposed to, like, how do they tell you where they want to go?
Oh, it's because they were accustomed. These dogs were accustomed to a certain lifestyle. And when I tell you, how did these dogs travel? They traveled on their own private jet. Their owner had the jet that would fly to wherever she wanted to, and when she wanted the dogs, the jet would come back and jump. They would jump on the jet and be taken. And how do I know this? I used to valet at the building, and I would have to bring the car around, and the lady would tell me, "Oh yeah, we're flying out to the Bahamas because the owner wants to see the dogs." Oh yeah, no, we're going up to Connecticut because she's missing the dogs, so we're going to take the dogs up there for the weekend. I'm telling you, man, people are wild with their animals, bro.
Oh, no, I love my animal, but he's not going to get anything when I go. Sorry, bud.
That's right. What are you going to do, buddy?
What are you going to do with it? You know?
Yeah. You'll just waste it. I know how you are.
Yeah, I know you. So frivolous.
Kibbles and bits.
You can't be trusted.
Yeah. Your Nintendo Power magazines. Pokemon cards.
You don't even have opposable thumbs.
How are you going to open those cards up? You're going to destroy them. Wow. Now that's someone I would challenge in court, you know?
Yeah. So anyway, those are a couple things that I had wanted to see, now obviously what you guys might have, if there's anything you want to touch on, anything of particular interest. My weekend was kind of busy, which I can get into a little bit of detail, but
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll touch on your weekend, Tad. I'm sure you will.
That's right.
My
for me,
I was gonna say my weekend went splendid. I went to another Hurricanes game. We were getting our head beat in. We decided to make a comeback in the second half. Oh, and what happened? It was a little too short, and we ended up losing. Go Canes! All about the U.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I don't think the Steelers played this weekend. I thought they had a bye week, so I didn't see too much.
They did too, apparently. They didn't show up.
Oh, man.
Bus didn't leave the hotel.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it was a terrible weekend.
It was an interesting weekend of football. I think, we've been talking about how, this is starting to get into that time where teams start to kind of come into their own and we start to see, who's who and what's what.
Yeah.
I do think we're starting to see some of that shake out now. Still got a ways to go, but
what did I text you all Saturday or Sunday afternoon? We texted a lot, but I made a Nostradamus prediction.
You made
that
a bold
came true.
Statement on the release of somebody not going to end up showing up to work on Monday. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly it. I said, if Carolina loses this game, Matt Rule is done. And sure enough, Carolina lost that game.
Honestly, list of prognostications that have come from this show.
I should have posted it, but I didn't. But that was
it. We'll still give you credit.
Yeah.
Because I think the question was, would the Titans head coach would he lose his job?
Who would be first?
Yeah. So I said this somewhat jokingly, but my question was, if the Titans manage to lose to the Commanders today, do you immediately fire Mike Vrabel, their head coach? Said somewhat joking, but just by what a ridiculous loss that would be if you're the Titans, who have had really quite a fall from grace. But it was also looking like they would end up losing that game. It was very close. They ended up pulling out, I think, 21-17 final score. But it was a very tight game, and Washington played them hard. So you came back and said if Carolina loses, Matt Rule's out.
Yeah, I didn't think Vrabel would, just because they had won 2 straight, and I get it. It was kind of in jest, I suppose. It was in jest. But they're now leading the division, which the AFC South is not a juggernaut we thought that would be more competitive. So they're now 3-2, leading the division over Indianapolis. Somehow they're now 2-1. It's just ridiculous. So there's a lot of teams that are starting to pull away a little bit, but then there's also just some divisions that you're like, whew, man, what is happening here? What's this going to look like?
We made fun of the NFC and Dallas and that whole conference.
They got angry at us.
They're balling. Everybody there, is doing well. Everybody except for one team. But 5-0, 4-1, 4-1, and 1-4. Seriously, that NFC East is showing itself to be something better than what we would have imagined. There's none of us would have sat here and be like, Oh, sure. You
No.
know, the league's going to almost have, 20 wins and 6 losses total combined. Like, none of us are going to sit here and say that.
And
that's
4 of those losses come from one team.
Right, from one team, exactly.
That's right.
I mean, if I said a division was going to take 3 teams to the playoffs, the NFC East would have probably been the last team you would have picked.
Yeah, no way.
You're going to say, you'll say NFC West, San Francisco, Rams, Cardinals, maybe, but man, they are just playing some good football. It's impressive. I mean, it really is. It's good. And with all that said, the Steelers are still only 2 games back from Baltimore. So I don't know what that says about the North either. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the team that is crazy to think about, and we talked a little bit about this previously in a previous episode. And also, I'm just going to tell everybody, like, seriously, if you're listening right now, if you're not subscribed, following, should pretty much be obsessed with this show. You get the horns. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is anything you're going to want. This has got your comedy and sports and, life lessons and culture and current events. I mean, this is what we talk about. And we talk about it in a way like you probably talk about it with your friends, except we just turned it into an actual show. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, if you're not following yet, freaking follow me.
Hit the like, subscribe, hit the like, subscribe.
That's it.
It's not hard. It's hard. This is the easiest thing you're going to do all day, right?
Let's be honest.
No matter what you're doing, I don't care if you are bedridden right now. If God forbid, you're just like, you broke your back, you're laid up in bed, you got nothing happening. And I really hope someone out there is going through this exact thing. That you're laying there, you're laid up in bed, and you can't do anything. Mm-hmm. The only thing, if you made it to this point where someone has put headphones on your head and you can listen to this, or you're listening to it on your phone, you were able to lift your fingers, your hand, to be able to like input this, and you found us somehow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you got to that point, this is easier. Just hit the subscribe button. Just hit the like button. That takes that's less effort than you put into anything else to even find the show. Mm-hmm. Least you can do is like us. But that's not the point. The point I was going to tell you is pick the loss. And this pick the loss segment is going to be about the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to go through the upcoming schedule for the Eagles. You tell me the loss. Next game, do they lose to the Cowboys? Anything's possible, but I would say probably not.
Where's the game?
Well, here's the thing: where is the game? Is the game in
Philly?
In Philly. So, is this not the game that Dak is supposed to come back for?
Supposed to be.
There's some talk that's
this is the week that he's supposed to be coming back. He could come back.
Is he rushing himself back because he sees how good Cooper is going?
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. No, guys, I'm still here. I can still do it. I still got it.
I'm good. He's like out there, like trying to throw the football.
Yeah, he's got like a gnarled hand. He can do whatever he can do.
I mean, that's such a terrible position for him to be in. But and what do you do if you're Dallas, man? I mean, it's not like Cooper's been like lighting it up, but man, they just look. Our buddy T-Rock said, you trade Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, you're winning probably just as many games with Tony Pollard and Cooper Rush. And that's 100% true. Problem is you're not going to find anyone that's going to take those contracts. No. Unless you're
nobody's touching those things.
Unless you're attaching draft picks with it.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. I think for Dallas and their resurgence and what they're doing is what happens when you put in your backup quarterback. You're not really asking him to win you games. You're asking him to completely manage the game, right? So what are you asking him to do? Hand the ball off. And if I can hand the ball off, 50 times to Pollard and to Ezekiel Elliott, game on. Because then when he has to throw, it's easier for him. So I think Ezekiel Elliott is past due. He got his money. He got fat, and he still can do his thing. And I think Pollard is the future. But let's be honest, they started running the ball. Dak's not there trying to create things and start throwing the ball around. Cooper is being told, hand the ball off, and when we got to throw, you're going to throw. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, you just get back to good, like, you're just good basic football. Like you just like it's just you're not trying to
ball.
like you're not trying to throw the ball out there 50 times a game.
It shows that they're a better team when they're not trying to run their offense through Dak. They're trying to pretend that Dak is like a top 5 quarterback, and he's not a top 5 quarterback. I don't even think he's probably a top 10 quarterback.
I'd give him 10. I'd give him 10.
This will be interesting. This will be interesting because I think I'm probably
I'd like
around
to go back.
12.
I was going to say I'm like 13, maybe 12, that 13 range. All right, we can go through it. Is he better than Josh Allen?
No.
Is he better than
Not better
Zach
than
Wilson?
Patrick Mahomes.
Zach Wilson.
You want to go by division?
Better than Zach
Did you just
Wilson?
see what Zach Wilson just did to the Dolphins defense?
I don't know. Jury's out on that one. That's coin flip, but I'll give that one to Dak.
Do you take Dak over Tua? A healthy Tua?
You know what? Now this is where it gets to be interesting for me. And my opinion is, if that's where it gets interesting for you, then you can't be a top
10
quarterback.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, so Mac Jones, do you take him over Mac?
I'd probably take him over Mac.
Yes.
Probably.
I would, yeah.
You're not taking him over Lamar.
No.
You're not taking him over Rapey Watson.
And Roethlisberger.
Shut your mouth.
I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
You're not
you
taking,
can get that confused. You can get that confused.
So you're not taking him over Joe Burrow. I wouldn't think so, anyways.
Nope.
You'll take him over Kenny Pickett at this point. Okay. Do you take him over Ryan Tannehill?
Yes.
I do. I think I do, yeah.
All right. You take him over Matt Ryan?
Yes.
At this stage in their careers, yes.
All right. How about Trevor Lawrence?
I have to. I would say yes. He's
think
got the more experience.
Probably still have to right now, but
It's close, right?
Gosh, it starts to get interesting the way Trevor's playing right now. This season has really been
Last 2 weeks has not been good
on
to
a
them.
bad team.
Last 2 weeks he hasn't,
year.
but better.
A better
yes.
year overall.
Still got a little ways to go on that one. You're taking him over Davis Mills. You're not okay. So, are you taking him over anyone in the AFC West? You taking him over Derek Carr?
Russell's playing right now, but you still got to say let's assume if you take Russell Wilson's whole body of work, and again, this is a guy I can't.
I'm taking him over Russell. I mean,
it's close. It is close, man.
It's close.
I mean, come on, guys.
I mean, I guess over his whole body of work.
Well,
I mean,
got a
even
Super
last
Bowl.
year, Russell. Yeah, and should have had two, except for yeah. Okay,
Run
you
the
taking him over
ball.
Jalen Hurts?
Not right now.
See, this is where it gets interesting.
No.
I don't think you can possibly take Dak over Jalen Hurts right now today. I just don't. I don't think you could.
No.
Okay, so we're already at 10 quarterbacks.
That we're taking over.
We haven't
And- and you
yeah.
no, I got the whole AFC
You got all
West.
those guys.
Sorry. Yep.
But I haven't gotten Aaron Rodgers. I haven't gotten to Tom Brady. I haven't gotten to Matt Stafford. I mean,
So then, to your point,
he's
Jeff,
probably in that 13 to 14 range.
yeah, to your point, then there's probably, I guess put him in the low teens. Keep him around 15 and below, sure, all day long, which is more than half the NFL, right? So
I mean, he's better than half of the NFL. Yeah,
He's a middle of the pack quarterback.
He's not paid like he's middle.
Well, that's it, right? So here's the whole thing. You paid this guy like he's a top 5 quarterback. And maybe in today's money it might be top 10. I don't even know exactly now where that contract lines up. But at the time, you paid him like he's a top tier quarterback.
Yeah.
no, he's
And
getting paid.
therefore, you tried to run your offense through him as if you were Green Bay trying to run it through Aaron Rodgers. And the problem is Dak Prescott is absolutely no Aaron Rodgers. And so they're a worse team when you're trying to force offense through Dak because Dak's just not good enough to carry the team completely on his back. There are only a handful of players that are really that good.
Yeah,
Outside of that,
I mean, it's not really a slight on him to say.
No,
that.
it's not.
I mean, it's
not a knock. But it's just now when you take that pressure off of we're paying this guy all this money, so we have to run the offense through him. And you put a Cooper Rush in there and you say, hey, if he throws at some, he throws at some. But otherwise, let's just focus on running the ball. You get back to what you do well. Traditionally, Dallas has had a good offensive line. So you're in a situation, run the ball, keep it simple, right? Simplify your playbook.
Yeah.
And just out physical the other team. And again, I mean, this is
and let your defense
do. The Steelers
let
do
your
this, Ravens
defense
do
work. Yeah, let your defense do the. You know,
Right.
let your defense. I mean, look, 2021 Dak 4,449 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks. Great year.
Those are good numbers.
But would they finish 9-7?
Yep.
But they finished 9-7. So it
Right, that's not winning football for that team.
yeah. Well, no, I guess it would have been more. What 9-8? They didn't win 10 games, right? I don't think they had won 10 games.
I don't think they did. Yeah.
So 9-7-1. I mean, whatever it was, but I mean, it's not winning football for sure.
Oh, wait, what numbers were that?
No, I'm sorry. Last year they were 12-5, right?
12-5. Yeah, they were 12-5.
They were 12-5 last year. Yeah, last year they had a good year. Last year they were good. But did they? I mean, did they get out of the first round? I don't even.
So they had a bye, and what did they end up in?
I don't even know.
Yeah. Taking too long for us to figure
They certainly
it out.
didn't win the Super Bowl. They certainly didn't get that far. But okay,
Well,
so they had a great year last year. I mean,
here's what I can tell you
that's
very quickly
not
here.
bad.
2017, which I think was maybe Dak's first year. I'm not even sure exactly when
I
he
think
came in.
16 was, if I'm not. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 16. But
Well, in 2017 they were 9-7. In 18 they were 10-6. In 19 they were 8-8. In 2020 they were 6-10. And then in 2021 they were 12-5. And last year when they were 12-5, they lost in the wild card round.
okay, so wild card round. So they lost. All right, so they didn't even win a playoff game then.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, 2016 it looks like Dak first year, which is still really good. 3,600, almost 3,700 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 4 picks.
Yeah.
So it's a good year, but yeah, again, you're revolving yourself around the one guy, so you're trying to get this dude to throw for 5,000 yards a year, and whatever they're doing right now is working. Is it just because there's not a whole lot of tape on Cooper Rush, and there's not a whole lot on like how to scheme for him or what they're doing? Are they maybe just not playing up on the line more? I mean, I don't know. Cooper Rush is going to throw you deep a lot, but I don't know. It's working. So
well, let's go back to the question then. Cowboys,
Philly
Eagles. Who do you
yeah.
call? Cowboys, Eagles in Philadelphia.
I mean, you got to go Eagles at home.
Yeah.
And if it is Dak's first game back, then I would especially say that, because I mean,
Agreed.
Now you've missed 4 games, and now you're like, how much rust is going to be on there?
Yeah.
How are you going to gel with the team? So yeah, I'll
but
go,
the Eagles will lose eventually, right? They're not going to go undefeated.
It's always
But I don't think it's going to be this game. If
Yeah,
we
I
move
don't think
past
so,
that,
yeah.
they play the Steelers. Okay.
Well, might be close.
Then they play the Texans.
Nope.
Then they play the Commanders.
Nope.
Then they play the Colts.
Now, we'll say, those divisional games are always ridiculous.
Yes, they could go anywhere.
We've
they
talked
shouldn't
about
lose
that.
these games.
They shouldn't lose those games. We talk about it many times. No matter how bad the Steelers are, how bad the Ravens are, when they play each other, it's usually a pretty good game, just because they know each other. So those divisional games are always tricky, and that's if they're going to slip up. I'm going to guess it'll be one of those, but I'm not going to pick them. I'm not going to.
Well, then they play the Packers.
Commanders.
Then they play the Packers.
Where's that at?
So that game is in Philly.
See?
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's
wow. What a
they are
nice schedule. The NFL
That is
gave
November
them.
27th.
Now, is that
November
after?
27th. That's a month and a half from now.
Is that a bye after a bye? I wonder.
No, because they play the Colts on November 20th.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know where their bye is, honestly.
Okay. It's at home, so I'm still going to take them at home.
Packers in Philly. Then you go to the Titans.
Well, listen, we know the Titans somehow always start out like 0-2 and then go on like a 12-game winning streak every single year.
This game again is in Philly.
Wow.
I think every game in the second half of the season. So then they play the Giants, which at this point the Giants look like they could be legit.
The table.
They could.
But we don't know what we're going to know December 11th.
Right.
Because that's when they play them. Then they play the Bears, then the Cowboys again, then the Saints, then the Giants again. I mean,
they're going to be favored in every single game. I mean, unless something happens again, we're early, so we don't know.
Yeah. An injury,
gets hurt, or something happens on the offensive line, and you never know. But they're going to be favored at this point. They'll be favored in every single game, especially when they got those tough games at home. I mean, when you have the Packers at home, there's not too often that you're an underdog at home when you're when you're playing like this. So Steelers are underdogs at home, but I mean that's.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing for Philly. So, I don't know where the loss is. It could be Green Bay. I mean, again, they could go out and stumble this week against Dallas, right?
As I say,
it's certainly possible.
It's going to be a divisional game. It's just got to be a divisional game. But I'm not going to pick against them in any of those games.
No.
I mean,
no, I don't think the smart money. I think if you were putting money on those games, just bet on Philly to win all of those games, and your losses will be completely outweighed by your wins.
Yeah. And I don't get that team either. I don't know what it is that makes them so great. It's not like Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal passer. I mean, that's the whole knock on Jalen Hurts is his arm and his his arm strength. And let's be honest, what's he have? 4 touchdowns this year passing?
Yeah.
I mean,
6 on the ground, 4 in there.
6 on the ground. Yeah. I mean, so it's not like he's doing anything phenomenal. I mean, he's completing, I don't know, what is it? 108 of 167%, 68% of it. I mean, he's not playing out of his mind. Miles Sanders has 414 rushing yards. A.J. Brown has 436 receiving yards. I don't know. Are they smoke and mirrors? Like, I don't know.
I mean, again, they haven't been severely tested, but we've just seen that their whole schedule might not severely test them. 1 or 2 games that look really tough, but for the most part, I think they have a very winnable schedule for the most part. So,
but what makes them this good? I don't just looking at their stats. Hassan Reddick, is that Hassan Reddick? Yeah, Hassan Reddick is leading their team with 4.5 sacks.
I really think it's because the offense is coming from any direction.
Yes.
Right now, it's very hard. They're running the ball. Jalen Hurts will run the ball. They'll hit you with a pass over the top. They'll, and it's just like it's a well-rounded offense that's just playing well, and the defense is also playing pretty well, pretty solid D.
That's got to be. I mean, 16 touchdowns in 5 games is not like lighting the world on fire. It's good, but I mean,
good. That's you're putting up at least
a game,
21, 24 points a game, something like that.
Yeah.
The NFL is a copycat league, right? So you got a quarterback that can run and scramble and create. That's what he's doing, especially when they get within 5 yards. He's a poacher. He's taking all the touchdowns away from all the running backs. Right. If you're not getting it in 20 beyond, forget about it. Guarantee he's going to get it in. It's almost like Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? It's that same thing. If you get it in close, he'll try to throw it to you once. After that, he's not even listening to Cliff Kingsbury. He's going to try to score it himself. He's going to do whatever he can. So
yeah, sorry, Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell, fantasy football owners.
Speaking though of the bonehead Kyler Murray, did you see that game this weekend and what he did at the end of that game to cost his team the victory? I mean, I don't know how. Okay, time's running out. You run down. He slides for the first down, but he ends up giving himself up before the first down.
Didn't even make it there. I mean, he was a good 1.5, 2 yards short.
Yeah.
You have to know where the first down marker is.
Yeah,
he's not smart. To me, he's just not like.
Well, he's not
NFL
giving us any
smart.
indications that he is, right? The things that he does is not translating to, that kid's got a good head on his shoulder.
Yeah,
right.
Nothing that translated to that. Maybe he is smart, but
no. This is why the VHS tape watching was put into his contract.
Right.
and then they got such a bad, and then it got leaked probably by his agent. He's got to watch film outside. You don't put that in a contract if your guy's already doing that. Like, don't tell me that that's something that they put in all contracts like, oh, you need to do
Peyton
film
Manning
study.
did not have a film study.
As a quarterback,
yeah.
Do you
what else
need
are you
to
doing?
be told that? That to
Well,
me
and here's the thing.
is telling.
In this play over the weekend, what does he do? So he gives himself up before the first down.
Yeah.
And then
Doesn't even realize that they didn't give him the first down, so he's not paying any attention. He goes up to the line, doesn't realize that it's third down instead of first down, and then spikes the ball. And so now they have no opportunity. They have to try to kick a long field goal.
Yeah.
Whereas they should have
with a rookie kicker.
More plays.
Yeah. With a kicker they pulled off the practice squad.
Yeah. And he's kicking, what, a 48-yard field goal or something like that.
And you're putting that pressure on this
shanked.
dude. Yeah. I mean, no, it's like fundamentally it's just, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's just dumb. It's just dumb play.
And then you show up to the game in your Hillary Clinton pantsuit. What are you doing, man? Like, who does this look good for? Like, I mean, I don't know. Don't get me started because I don't obviously know anything about fashion. I'm, wearing a cigar hat and a Johnny Cash T-shirt. So,
cigar hat from where?
Oh, from Cornelius and Allen.
Shout out Cornelius and Allen cigars.
There you go.
So
if you've never heard of them, neither have Cornelius and Allen. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, we haven't been around since 1966, but no.
There you go. Classic hats.
Yeah.
Technically, also make cigars.
I don't understand. Like, first of all, I don't understand. Like, who picks these wardrobes out for these guys? I think it's the dumbest thing. And I get like you're trying to build your brand, you're doing this, you're doing that. But like Joe Burrow, like you look like you're trying to dress up. Some people could just dress up and they can just
look nice.
Like, man, like Randy Moss comes in a nice suit. You're like, that dude just doesn't even try. Like you get Joe Burrow walking in, the top hat and cane, like, bro, you're just trying way too hard. Like, just come in a shorts and a t-shirt.
Look cool.
Like,
you don't look
right.
cool.
Right. It's
not working.
And then Kyler Murray comes in this like romper. Like, what are you wearing, bro? What are you doing?
He's doing his best impersonation of Harry Styles. He's trying to get that Harry Styles fan base to be, look at me. I could dress like this as well.
Well, it's the whole thing too, right? Is that if you're going to make it all about you like that, and then you're going to go out literally a few hours later and be the sole reason your team loses. Look, I don't blame that kicker.
Not at all.
I blame Kyler Murray for being a bonehead and not paying enough attention because you're the quarterback. First of all, pick up the first down. Pick up the first down. You're going to run the ball. You want to be the star at the end of the game. Cross the line, right?
Dive.
Give yourself up 2 yards before the first down. And then if you're going to do that, where daggone well, man, I slid a little early on that. Have the presence of mind to look around, pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what down is it? How much time do we have left? Like that's situational awareness.
That big thing that they pull up and down, and like that says 3. Oh,
yeah, both sidelines. It's on both sidelines.
Yeah,
that wasn't a 1. That says 3. Yeah, it's just. I agree, man. This is exactly why that was put into his contract, and I get you got to take it out because of all the flack.
We don't want to shame people.
At the same time, right? Yeah, but at the same time, like, don't you want to be like the owner and be like, see, this is why we put it into the contract. This is
That's
why.
right. This guy's not that bright, and
now
we have to keep him dialed in.
You're just stuck with the dude forever. Like you cannot be satisfied with the way he is playing at this point. And I get it.
I was gonna say, to me, then it puts into question, like to piggyback on what you're saying, that you're stuck with Kyler Murray. Is Cliff Kingsbury a good coach or not? Because in the end,
who knows?
We have no idea because of the things that he's doing. Now, mind you, it's his offense.
Take the fall for it.
Oh, he absolutely will. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so he's not going to probably be given another chance to do anything else in the NFL. Yeah. He's going to be gone once he loses this job.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be fine, but
Cliff Kingsbury, you could have stuck with Josh Rosen. Don't you feel sheepish now?
Yeah. Oh, what an idiot! You really screwed up.
Stupid. I get like the whole deal with Kyler. I mean, but it's like he's got that like Tim Tebow like deal where it's like he comes alive in the fourth quarter, but like, well, I don't want my quarterback to wake up,
play well the whole time,
and play the fourth quarter. Like he just stinks and plays terrible, and then all of a sudden, like, fourth quarter comes. I'm like, all right, do you want you're paying your starting quarterback to score 17 points a game? Is this what you want? Is this what you're happy with?
Yeah.
And you went out and you got him Hollywood Brown. You got him a good receiver. Like, yeah, he lost. They lost a couple. I mean, Christian Kirk goes for the money and goes to Jacksonville. So, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, like, man, does he elevate any of his players? Does he make other players around him better? Jury's out. I mean, I guess I don't even know. I mean, he's been in the league, what's this? He's 25, so 4 years.
4 years,
now?
yeah, I'd say about 4 years.
Probably been 4 years. I mean, when he's good, he's good. It's just just the inconsistency is just, for me, would be I'd be banging my head off a table every time if I was a Cardinals fan, because that's just
it's an inconsistency in play and an inconsistency in mental acuity and situational awareness.
Yeah, like that's
the whole thing. Is like,
you're not a rookie.
Sometimes he doesn't play well even when he knows what's going on, and then other times he knows exactly what's going on, or he just doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't matter if he plays well or not. Like it's irrelevant, because you're gonna make the play that's also gonna screw it up. Like this was a Tony Romo thing, right? For many years it was like, Romo would always be in a position to win, and then sometimes a break would go bad. Not always his fault definitively, but sometimes it was. But it's just like that break that would go the other way, where it's like, man, every time, like, some guys are winners, like they find ways to win. Yep. And then some guys are losers in that they just find ways to lose. And Kyler Murray, there is starting to be a resume of him being a loser, him being a guy who finds ways to lose rather than finding ways to win, particularly in pressure situations when it's on him. Yeah.
Then there's got to be another one that Justin Fields has got to be put up there now, like where it's like, does this dude have it? Do you know he's only thrown 88 passes all year?
I mean, come on, man. That's not even a quarterback.
I mean, and he's only completing 56% of those passes. I mean,
they gave up a lot, man.
They gave up a lot, but I mean, then they haven't really, like, his best receiver is Darnell Mooney, Equanimous, St. Brown.
Yeah,
I mean,
the wrong St. Brown.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. St. Brown. I mean, played well last game, but I mean, seriously though, like I don't. If you want this dude to be the man, like, you've got to put players around him. But man, the jury has got to be starting to lean towards, like, here's another failed Bears quarterback.
Chicago's just such a bad organization.
Are you ever going to get the quarterback position right? I hope Justin Fields plays well. I mean, again,
nothing against him.
No. I mean, and there we are again, another Ohio State quarterback that fails in the NFL. What is going on?
You said it.
Yeah. So
So speaking of failed quarterbacks, we are seeing and we already discussed how Carolina got rid of their head coach. And Baker Mayfield is hurt and is going to be taking some time off, not playing for about a month. And I touched on that to ask you, Tad, a couple of things. One, we've already heard reports of Buffalo reaching out to acquire CMC, which I think would be – forget about it. If
Christian
that happens,
McCaffrey.
If
McCaffrey
he ends
goes
up
to
going,
Buffalo. Come on, man.
But the other one is DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. If DJ Moore becomes available, because the rumor is that people are going to start asking for him, would you take a flyer on him in Baltimore?
I can tell you that there's already a lot of conversation with the team about that.
I hope so. I hope so.
He's only 25. I mean,
I hope so.
Yeah,
I like the kid. I want the kid in a better situation because he's on the team.
Two names.
Sure,
I'll give you two names here. I'm not going to definitively. I'm not in a position to definitively say that either of these will happen, but I will give you two names to watch out for receivers to the Ravens. You just said one, and the other one is Robbie Anderson. Okay, those
out
are
of the
two.
Who would you prefer to have?
Oh, I think I'd take DJ.
I was going to say, I hope so.
Yeah,
You wouldn't take what's the dude from Don't Be a Menace to Salsa? Lou Doc. What was his name?
Yeah.
You would take him.
Such a strange dude.
Robbie Anderson is so weird, and
but
he's
got a lot of years on him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
he's got a couple less.
I think Robbie's pushing 30, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure Robbie Anderson
definitely would do that because they're on.
I think the difference is the cost. The cost to get them is going to be the differentiating factor.
Oh, no question.
Because DJ, you think you have to give up third, probably. I think. I mean, you give up a third rounder probably for him, maybe conditional, fourth or fifth. I'm sure it's more than one pick. And then Robbie Anderson, you might be able to, get him for like a fifth or a sixth or something like that. But I mean, if I'm Carolina, that's what I'm doing though, because right now, you have nothing. There's really no saving grace for this team. None. Where you're
in a full rebuild.
I mean, you got Matt Corral, who you drafted, who's on injured reserve. So I mean, I guess. Is it PJ Walker? Is it Jacob Eason? Who is supposed to be starting for them? I don't know. Is PJ Walker still there? I'm
not even sure now.
So, I mean, it's either Jacob Eason or PJ Walker because, I mean, Darnold's still injured, right? I mean, he's not scheduled to come back, I don't think. Oof, man. Yeah.
They just don't have anything. So it makes sense. Now's the time to try to get some value for that team.
You just be taking on that McCaffrey contract. That would be the only thing in Buffalo. It's what would you give back
can they do
value?
It?
I mean, I saw some things okay, you give back Zach Moss and a second and a fifth, and I don't know if that moves the needle for me. I mean,
you already know you're picking late. You're not picking early. So at that point, what would it matter to get that type of talent? You're not
right. A low first is like a high second.
Seriously, so it's
I don't think you're giving up a first, especially if you have that contract on. I don't think you're going to get a first. That would be shocking if the Bills came to you and be like, "We will give you our first round draft pick, even if it's number 32." You're taking that. I mean, you get rid of the contract plus you get a first rounder that you can now, if he's good enough, you now have under control for 5 years.
I don't disagree. Second. I think the flip side of that though is if you're the Panthers, you got to be able to sell tickets. There's still the business side of this, and if you're giving away literally the only name on your team, it just gets a little dicey. But also, if you're Buffalo, how can you afford to have
I don't know
one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best wide receivers
afford what they afford?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just don't get it. I just don't understand how they do it. So if you can have one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best wide receivers, and one of the best running backs all on the same team, I mean, there's just that's going to be very tough. Buffalo's going to be a tough team.
Oh, that would I mean, you hope that McCaffrey obviously would stay healthy. When you think he would be under with that team, he would probably that line. Think he could stay relatively healthy, but sure. I mean, you don't know. I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
Who really knows at that point? But I mean, if you're Carolina, are you sucking for CJ Stroud? I mean, out of Ohio State. So now there you are again.
Right.
That's how you can sell the franchise. That's how you can sell it to the fans. Are people going to the game now just to see Christian McCaffrey? Because I mean. I wouldn't.
But some probably are. I mean,
I'm sure, but
bad teams with a good player can still sell tickets. And, because teams want to be, or fans want to be able to say that they saw that player play.
I say you do it. I mean, you have nothing, you're not going anywhere. So sell off all of your assets while you can. Get rid of DJ Moore, get rid of, CMC. Send Robbie Anderson out, get rid of that draft, get rid of the salary. So you may have room to bring in some good free agents, build up your offense,
you have to do it as a
defensive line, and then, use those draft picks and, whatever you got to do. If you got to package them and to move up or, keep them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Ravens drafted 416 players this year in their draft, so
yeah.
I don't think they traded any of them out. So, I mean,
it'll be interesting. I don't know where it's going to go, but those two names I would just say, as it pertains to the Ravens, I would say Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. Keep an eye on those. Those could be
nice. That's what I want to hear.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see. What else from the weekend? Bears commentating for us.
Just a oddball situation that happened for most people that are thinking, wishing and praying for, like, Lord, I just need 50 points on a Monday nighter from a player. Please make it happen, Lord. Please make it happen. And then Travis Kelce goes for 4 touchdowns.
And like 26 yards,
and 26, right? 20, I think it was 25 was the end result of the numbers there. And just about gives you 50 points alone.
Crazy.
So that, like I heard stories of people winning their fantasy down by X amount, and then one player does something that's so crazy.
That 99% chance of losing.
Right. It's like, I'm like, are you kidding me? But what a weird game, huh? 25 yards catching, 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns is so
unbelievable.
Odd.
That's sick.
We were down by 17, no, 8, I don't know, 18 points. And we had Daniel Carlson going. And, that dude gave us enough points that we lost by like a half a point. It one more foot back probably on one of his field goals would have won it. So he ended up giving like 17 points. That's a dude that gives fantastic kicker. I mean, probably not the greatest kicker, but I think he's got, though, if I'm not mistaken, he's made the most consecutive kicks right now, Daniel Carlson.
That's possible.
Would have to go back, and I think he's like 8 away from the record. But, I mean, of course we know who the freaking GOAT is. The dude's got to be Justin Tucker's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? I mean,
I don't think there couldn't be a possible question about that.
Here's the thing
if you're going to ever have a kicker in.
I thought you were talking about Pete Stoyanovich.
It was, yeah. It's the thing I hate about the NFL. Like, you will put in a referee as a Hall of Famer, but there are how is it just not put in someone at each position? Like, someone has to be the greatest of all time at each of their positions. You know, whether it be decades, however you want to do it. But there's so many players that you were like, how is he not how is it not even mentioned for the Hall of Fame? Like, I think of Brian Mitchell. The dude leads all-purpose yards, career leader in all-purpose yards, and he doesn't sniff the Hall of Fame. That's got to count for something, right? I mean, it's got to count. He's all over the field. Right. I mean, kickoff returns, receiving, whatever, he's all over the place. How is he not at least up for debate for that? But Justin Tucker is going to be first ballot. I'm going to tell you, he's going to be the first ballot Hall of Famer for a kicker, unless he just falls off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
I don't.
If he's not, then I don't think anyone ever could be.
No,
couldn't happen. I think that's how. So let's segue into this because we talked about this last week, right? So last week I was offered some tickets to go to the Ravens Sunday night game. I was actually already going to be in Washington D.C. Over the weekend. My wife's birthday, we decided to go to Washington D.C., visit one of our favorite steakhouses. Shout out to Bourbon Steak at the Four Seasons Hotel in D.C. Fantastic, one of our favorite steakhouses in the country. We like to try to make it there for special occasions when we can. And so we went there, and then I'll tell you, the ultimate place. I'm going to give this place a shout out. This is a place I spent some time in that night. I've spent time in several other times when I've been in D.C. Phenomenal. One of the most interesting places you could possibly go. The Jack Rose The Jack Rose Dining Saloon in D.C., they have the largest whiskey collection in the Western Hemisphere. Usually somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 different bottles of whiskey in this place. Floor to ceiling, you walk in, and I mean, it's like they have library ladders, like on wheels that they like slide around to be able to climb up and down and pull, bottles down. It is an incredible place if you're a whiskey lover, as we are on this show, and so it is a phenomenal place. So we had dinner at Bourbon Steak, then went over to the Jack Rose and had a drink. And to give you an idea, I just looked this up right now while we're sitting here. Currently, the Jack Rose has 2,687 bottles of whiskey. And keep in mind, those are unique bottles. It's not like they have like 200 bottles of Johnny Walker Black. These are individual unique bottles. So stuff from all over the world, old stuff, current stuff, insane stuff. Stuff you've never heard of in your life. Really, really phenomenal place.
They got that Jack Daniel's apple.
They're sold out, but they're getting more in.
Man.
They're getting more in.
Yeah.
Are the Williams Reserve?
Oh, they got everything. Anything you want, they've got. So, and Bill Thomas, who happens to be the owner of the Jack Rose, was there that night while I was there. And so they're doing a lot of interesting things. They got a lot of really interesting upcoming plans for some really cool tastings and stuff. So, again, not advertising for the Jack Rose. They're not sponsoring the show or anything like that. But I do want to give a shout out because they are one of my favorite places. Yes,
but if they want to.
They want to.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be able to work it out eventually.
Maybe do a live show
I'm hopeful
from there.
the numbers are going to work, but definitely a big fan of theirs and a phenomenal place. So
a live show from Jack Rose. I like this.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
I like that. I like that.
We can definitely set something up with that. That would be very cool. So then that was Saturday night. So then Sunday we head up to Baltimore from DC, and we go to the game there Sunday night. So very interesting game, good game, back and forth, tough game. I'm sweating bullets, at this game because I'm seeing what the Ravens have done recently, blowing a lead.
Sure.
And, the concern was, okay, Bengals are going to go down. They're going to run out the clock. And, they're in a position to be able to score and win the game. Well, they score and we have about 2 minutes left. So now we know all we have to do is basically, and this is the advantage that an insanely good kicker gives you, is all we have to do is basically get to the other side of the 50, right? All we have to do is get within 60 yards. Tucker had already hit a 58-yarder earlier in the game, right? So, and again, I can tell you, having sat in that stadium, it was just kind of like an afterthought. Like, don't get me wrong, it was great that he hit it, but when Justin Tucker walks out for a 58-yard field goal, everyone assumes that it's going to be made. Like the thought of missing it just never even, comes into play. So then, you get into the end of the game and, and when it really counts, we needed it. And Justin Tucker walks out and does his job, kicks the field goal, wins the game. And so there was a little bit of interesting information that I had here about Justin Tucker that I thought was worthy of some discussion. Tucker has made 61 consecutive field goals in the fourth quarter or overtime. So in the most pressure situations, when the game is most on his shoulders in the fourth quarter or overtime, he's hit 61 consecutive field goals. 27 of them have been from longer than 40 yards out. 27 of those 61. He's also now 18 for 18 in his career on field goals within the final minute of regulation or overtime. He has never missed in his career a field goal in the final minute of regulation or overtime. And so when you think about what that does for a team, it's pretty insane. It's insane how that changes the game. And it definitely is for the Ravens, because I can tell you, there are not very many cities where you go to a game and you will see a large number of people that are there wearing the jersey of the kicker.
Of the kicker, yeah.
That is not a normal thing in most cities, but that is very common in Baltimore. You will see, 25% plus of the people, of the fans are wearing a Justin Tucker jersey.
I mean, as far as jersey sales go, right, and if you're going to buy a jersey, if you have a kicker that you know that's going to be on your team long term, that's the route to go. Because getting Lamar Jackson jersey, guess what? Chances are, if they don't offer him, he's going to go somewhere else. What are you going to do with that jersey? Get that kicker's jersey. He's probably going to be on your team all the time.
That's it.
That's true.
Get that kicker in that offensive lineman's jersey. That's it.
That's right. Because, let's face it, jerseys aren't cheap.
No.
Jerseys are not cheap,
ridiculous. Man. Yeah. Did you love the interview with him after the game? Like he's so well spoken. First off, and then his holder, he calls it his first ever game winning hold, and they're like, okay, what? Like, now
never hear anyone give credit to that type of thing.
Yeah. And he calls himself a system kicker, It
was so interesting because look, I just go up and kick it at that point. Like, if everything else has worked the way it's supposed to, I don't really have to think about anything. I just go up and do my job. I'm nervous before I go out there. After that, I walk up. As long as the laces are facing out and the hold's good, I got nothing else to do but kick it. Like, that's simple.
So he didn't go ahead and interview like Ricky Bobby. Look, I wake up and I piss excellence. I'm the best that there ever was.
That's what he should say.
Yeah, exactly. If anybody could come out and say that, you know what I mean? Right. Like, it's him. He could come out and basically say that, and I don't think anybody's going to say a thing to him. Yeah.
What do I do with my hands? Well, I'll tell you a crazy stat. This stat, when I read this about what Tucker did, I was pretty blown away by this. They said that Tucker is a phenomenally accurate kicker from every point on the field. According to NFL's Next Gen Stats, Tucker's game winner on Sunday crossed the goalpost at a point that is 26.52 yards from the left sideline. Now, you would wonder, why is that significant? Because the midpoint of the field is 26.67 yards, meaning that if the goalposts were only half a yard apart, Tucker would have still split them. A half a yard is a foot and a half. So if these goalposts were a foot and a half apart, his kick was that center that he'd have still made that field goal. The game
That's awesome.
So, and most of the time, if you see him, like, these kicks are not barely hooking in. He's dead down the middle almost every single time. It's very rare that you see one kind of hook around or fade.
It's
incredibly accurate.
It pains me when he comes out to kick a field goal. When we're playing, it's just like, all right, just chalk up 3 points. And
here's what's crazy too: undrafted,
insane,
undrafted player out of Texas.
So many people miss that. Was he just not that accurate in college? I have no idea. In fact, I don't even know that I knew he went to Texas. Like, I don't even think I knew that as a stat.
He was
University of Texas,
Longhorns. Yeah, yep.
I don't. Maybe I heard that somewhere, but you could ask me, and I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's not unusual to see him throw up the horns, so to speak. To celebrate. So. He's the most accurate kicker of all time, 91.3%. Of course, holds the record for the longest field goal. That was a crazy one. Yeah,
for Detroit.
66 yards off the bottom of the uprights. Went to Texas. He was undrafted in 2012, and listen to what this guy's done as an undrafted player. He's a Super Bowl champion, 5-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. He made the 2010s All-Decade team for the NFL. He's the most accurate kicker in history. He has the longest field goal made in history, and he has the most 50-plus yard field goals in a single game. He's tied with that for 3. He is one of the. I saw this earlier, and I have to look it back up now to verify. But he's like one of the. He's the highest, I believe, points scored in the NFL among current players.
Which is usually kickers, yeah.
Yeah, kickers usually do.
Usually goes to the kickers, anyways. But
I believe he is the 33rd highest all time in NFL history.
Listen,
I think you're right.
Of all those stats, the one that is a little bit impressive is that he made the All 2010 team after being drafted in 2012.
That's right.
I mean, not being in the league and being a rookie his first year.
That's
and
right.
to be able to make that all-decade team, that's commendable. Good for you.
Pretty crazy to be able to do. So
unbelievable.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm at the game, and he is kicking toward my end of the stadium, and so it was a fun night, man. It was an interesting game to go to. People went from being extremely stressed to obviously celebrating in the streets. And it was fun. It was a good game. So yeah. So I had to give some credit there to Justin Tucker for pulling that off. I mean, rarely do you kick a 58-yard field goal just in the midway point of the game and then follow it up with a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of the game with 3 seconds left. I believe from 48. And so dude's just a killer, cold-blooded. And still the best at what he does. So don't know how much longer he'll be able to keep doing it, but right now he certainly hasn't lost any of his leg strength or anything like that, man.
That's it. Yeah.
So steroids.
Yeah. That's what it is. He's a juicer.
That's it.
Freaking cheater.
I feel like we need a cleansing of the palate. Do we have anything else to talk about? We need something to cleanse this.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of talk, for what's coming up this week. In football and other things. I know we're running toward the end of our time here.
Yep.
We've already been entertaining America for over an hour and a half now.
Look at us.
So
we do. That's what we do.
Just give
That's
to the
the thing.
people.
There's no place you can go for more free entertainment, higher quality free entertainment than this. Like, there is nowhere else to go. You get the Horn Show. This is the place to be.
That's 100%.
You want to laugh.
100%.
You want to cry. You want to get angry. This is the place. You want to learn something. This is the place.
Oh, you're going to learn today.
You're going to learn. It might not even be accurate, but you're going to learn.
A good chance it won't be accurate.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Just don't tell anyone.
No. Keep it to yourself. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I'm looking forward to the NFL draft coming up here in a couple of months. So big things
waving the white towel. He's just waving that white towel. He's done with the season already.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking at some mocks here. So
nice.
Getting the mock drafts going already. Yeah.
Let me go ahead and timestamp this right now. Tuesday, October 11, 9:05 p.m. The Pittsburgh Steelers will draft Will Anderson, edge rusher, Alabama.
Wow.
I love it. I can't wait to call back to this when that's proven correct.
Yeah. Because they're going to have the top 1 or 2 picks. So, yeah.
I like
their
it.
pick of the players.
I like it.
Yeah. So I'm already counting on that. And then Kanye West has really lost his mind, it looks like, huh?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This dude, what illness he has.
Yee.
Crazy,
he is.
Why do we celebrate this stuff, man?
That's what I don't understand. Like, why do we keep hugging him? Like,
him, Antonio Brown. Like, Antonio Brown is sick. Like, clearly he is not right in the head.
Yep.
And we just keep encouraging this stuff. It's
crazy.
It's entertaining. Don't get me wrong.
That's why. I think that's
why.
why.
That is
I
why.
mean,
Yep.
You got Antonio Brown at a swimming pool and, flashing his junk and like people just, get him.
And now him and Kanye are hanging out together.
Shocker.
So it's just like, it's just, they somehow, right? They found each other and it's just.
Listen, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. You guys have to watch the Kanye West documentary on Netflix.
You mentioned that.
You guys need.
If
you want a entrance into his life and how the direction where he came from to where he's at, like, it all unfolds on that documentary on Netflix. And again, shout out to Netflix. Definitely pick us up if you want to give us a little love, Netflix. Throw us some love this way. But seriously, that documentary is, I don't know, man. Like, you see at a moment, you just see the light just shut down for him. And some people want to pinpoint it to when his mother passed away, him coming off of his meds, not taking them. It's just, man, I didn't get past, I think it was I stopped watching at episode 4, but because I like Kanye, original Kanye, first 3 albums Kanye, and then after that he kind of lost me. But seeing how he unfolds and him having the foresight to record himself from the beginning to where he's at now is insanity. That maybe he is some sort of genius, but I'm telling you, that documentary says a lot of who this person is, and just, man, it's crazy. It's crazy good. I recommend it.
He's definitely suffering from some really significant mental illness at this point. And Antonio Brown, same deal. I mean, these guys are like it's funny and all that kind of stuff, and we roll our eyes at them and stuff. These people are legitimately mentally ill.
Yeah, I mean, with Antonio Brown, you're again, people encouraging it, people like cheering it on, and all these Twitter followers and everything else. And then when he ultimately, I mean, is anyone going to be shocked that Antonio Brown lives past 40? I mean, at this point, honestly, sadly. Like you hate to say that, but sadly, is anyone going to be surprised if he doesn't? And then you're going to, they're going to take him in and they're going to cut his brain open and they're going to see CTE in there. And then it's, look what you did, NFL. Look how bad you are. And meantime, we're not trying to get this guy to him. I mean, maybe you can't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can have him committed. I don't know if I can just, call up, wherever he's staying at and call up, some health officials and say, hey, I'm a concerned Twitter follower. I'd like, to you go check in on him. Yeah. But there's got to be people around him that need to. I mean, his money isn't flowing forever. I mean, I'm pretty sure, he's left millions and millions of dollars, on the table.
My guess is the people around him are going to take the money until it runs out, and then they'll just be gone.
Then they'll be gone, and then
they don't care.
Sad.
I just, like I said, it's good entertainment, but at some point you're just like, man, this is sad, and that's kind of where I'm at with the Kanye situation. I'm just like, man, this is just turning weird. He's always a weird dude. I mean, and I guess you have to be a little different. I mean, I was thinking this today. Where would you rank him? I mean, not that we're great rap, historians here, but where would you rank him all time? Top 5? I mean, is he a top 5?
I don't think he's top 5 as a rapper, but in terms of overall impact on
those first couple albums, man.
I mean, definitely, I could say maybe top. I could put him in the 10. And then, like you said, the first 3 albums, phenomenal, and then he starts losing himself and what he's doing. Because but then that's all generational, right? Any list that you make, is he top whatever? It's all generational, right? We all go back to what we listened to, what we liked, and it's hard to listen to what's out now and be like, oh no, they're good or not, because it's not something that we would necessarily
because it's garbage.
Well, essentially, yeah. So I think it's hard to pinpoint, but I think overall, because he's not only he produced his own stuff, man. Yeah. He was talented enough to do all the stuff. Some of the great rappers that we know today were using his stuff to get out there, dude. His beats, they were using his stuff. And so in that aspect, he could maybe be there, and very much so. I mean, overall, top 5, but definitely top 10, I'd say.
Yeah. Did you guys see the whole thing, of course, the whole thing, Tupac's alive and everything? Have you seen any of those videos, though?
No, I don't think I want to.
I'm telling you, I swear,
We just find like a homeless guy that looks like Tupac, and they claim
I
that's
mean,
him or something,
everything
or what's-
like I mean, you had like Suge saying that he's not dead. Like you had like apparently there was only one person that saw him cremated, and that person's gone now.
Uh-huh.
It was this whole thing. I'm going to find the video, and if I can find it, I'll tag it on our show. But it was like really like. Like he just wanted to get away because he knew like people are after him and went to I don't know, Colombia or what,
Cuba, normally what
Cuba,
I've heard.
yeah. And there's apparently these videos and like photos of like him and like it's crazy. I love the whole conspiracy theory thing. I'm just like one of them just have to be true. Like none of them are, but like just the one that like really is true.
Right. Sooner
But
or later.
in true Tupac fashion, do you think he could stay away? Like,
That's
if that was true, like, I don't see that, he would be gone for like 6 months and be like, ha, I'm back.
Right.
I'm just kidding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to
like,
say
I don't
for
see that he
20
could play the
years.
Rouge for like 20 plus years,
Well, I don't know. I mean, he had 6-7 albums that came out after he died. So I mean, if he wasn't staying away,
talking
bills to
about
pay.
Blackberries and iPhones when those things didn't even exist when he was
Right.
rapping. What? What are you talking about?
Wow. You're surprisingly current. Tupac's very prescient. He really knows.
President Biden.
What? How did you know that?
Is he like The Simpsons? Like,
Yeah, like, wow,
There
this
you
is
go.
incredible.
oh, that's funny. So,
Well, gents, what do we think? Should we start to wrap her up here?
Yeah.
Give the people a break, let the people go to sleep.
They need to sleep. We're here for the people, but we want to make sure they get their good rest. We don't want to waking up in the morning. It's been dark waking up now.
That's
Yeah.
right. They're going to be complaining about us keeping them up.
Yeah,
a whole
exactly. Any big games on this weekend, like football wise? I'm just
Well,
trying to look and see what the
we have playoff baseball going on right now, and the
we do,
Guardians
yeah.
and the Yankees are in the bottom of the fifth, tied at 1-1. So those baseball fans out there want another score.
There you go.
You got that, and actually, this is like a weird time of the year because we have like possibility of all sports coming on.
Oh yeah,
Baseball
hockey
is
starts
rounding
tonight.
up. Hockey starts tonight. Basketball is right around the corner, and we got, of course, the king football.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Big game in college football this week for anyone that maybe
Bama, Tennessee. Bama, Tennessee. No? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking about Penn State and
Penn State and Michigan?
And
It's in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Good
Penn
luck with
State
that one,
ranked
dude.
number 10. Michigan didn't look hot a lot last week against Indiana, so we'll see. We'll see. It's man, they had a TBD, like when I was looking last week. So I was
Really?
like, oh, okay.
Didn't they give it a time?
Not last week. It was TBD. So I was like, oh, this has
Wow.
got to be like a weekend.
Prime
Like this
time
got to
game,
be in the
something?
prime time. No, it's noon, and I'm like,
Wow.
why would you put that on? Like, surely you could have gotten like somewhere else with this. Like, because I think the ABC game is, I think it's Alabama, Tennessee. No, that's a 3:30 game. Florida State and Clemson is the 7:30 game on ABC.
Oh, what a bummer!
Yeah, like how would you not
That's
take an
crazy.
opportunity to have a number 10 versus number 5
Yeah,
in Michigan of all places?
Yeah.
12 o'clock kickoff. And I'm not even sure I'm going to make the kickoff. I got to go to Pumpkin Patch this weekend. So
oh, fun.
I don't know if I have time. Maybe Home Depot after, but I don't know if I'll
Bed Bath and Beyond.
don't know if I'll have time, but so I'll probably be pulling the phone out every 2 seconds on that one. But yeah. So and then NFL, I don't know, man. I don't know that there's any like must see. What is the game? Oh my gosh, man. Amazon gets the Commanders and Bears on Thursday night.
Another kick in the nuts to Jeff Bezos.
Amazon lost a bet.
Oh my gosh, man! What was the stat I had read? It was something like that game last week. They breaking down. It was something like they had to pay $26 million to show that game. It was something insane amount of money. So you got the Commanders and the Here's on
NFL stole that Amazon money, boy. They
Oh
gave
my
them
God.
garbage.
I mean, come on. There was no one ever thinking that the Commanders or the Bears were going to be like
Yeah.
two hot teams, you know.
Early playoff peak.
Oh my gosh. Falcons, Niners, Patriots, Browns, Jets, Packers,
Dallas, Philly, I
Jags,
guess.
Colts.
Yeah, Dallas, Philly.
Philly would be good.
Oh, whoa. Buffalo, Kansas City, guys.
That is the
Buffalo, Kansas
and
City.
Again, missed a golden opportunity. That's a 425 game. Like you missed such a golden opportunity. So now
you
you
can have
got
that
the
a Sunday
Cowboys.
night game easy.
Yeah,
I mean, a 4 o'clock game is still like national, but they missed a Sunday or Monday night.
Yeah, so you got Cowboys Eagles at 8, the Sunday night game, and then Broncos Chargers, which I'm sure they were real pumped about that one when that one came out. They really thought they were doing something there when they put that schedule out. So Steelers and Bucks, that'll be a good one. Ravens got the Giants.
I don't know what to expect.
I have not a clue what to expect there. Yeah, that's going to be
it's in New York.
One. It's in New York. So yeah.
Yeah. The Ravens should beat the Giants, but the Giants aren't going to be pushovers. So,
Stop Saquon. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
it would seem so. Yeah, because outside of him, I don't know what else they have. I mean, so I don't know. Again, I watch football, but not enough to be like, why is this team that good? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just playing good defense, and here we are. So
yeah, people are overlooking a lot of trap games. If you're the Giants, every game's a trap game because nobody thought you were going to be any good, and then you come in, dang on it, these guys are beating us.
That's it exactly. Oh man. Well, no, I don't think much else going on. Both the Ball brothers are going to be missing the start of the season in basketball. LaMelo got injured, and Lonzo's always injured. So, but outside of that, no, I think we're good. Yeah.
Well, look, we got a ton of content that's going to be coming out throughout the week.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of really, really good stuff that's going to be coming. The followers, the subscribers, the list is growing. We're gaining some traction, gaining momentum. I think we're going to continue to see that happening. We have, I think, quadrupled our number of followers on TikTok just in the last 24 hours. So things are starting to move. The movement is exciting, and we want as many people as possible to be able to join us on this journey. It's about hanging out, having fun, talking, laughing, joking around.
That's it.
So what we do is what we're about. We give it to you straight, always. You get our opinions regardless. You agree with them, you don't agree with them. You're definitely going to know where we stand. And and more often than not, chances are you're going to agree. We're right. So chances are, once you hear us, you're going to understand.
I guess if you
agree with us or you're mistaken, and then you can change your mind. So
and then say you're sorry later. But,
exactly. We accept apologies. There's no issue there. You
can
email us.
We are the
email us at yougetthehornshow@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. We're the Justin Tucker of being right. So
that's right. Dead down the middle every time.
Can't be wrong.
Can't be wrong. And we won't apologize for it either.
No. No. Also won't apologize in the event that we are wrong.
That's not happening.
Victimless crime.
That's right. All right, fellas. Have a good rest of your week.
Guys.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, boys. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.
Play us up.
Oh, I love these jams.